Hi, and welcome to another edition of Winning Ways, where Kevin Shea's our partner in the studio today. James Goodman's off this week. He's having another facelift. It's a second one, and Kev, it'll suit him, won't it?
Yeah, he needs it badly.
Yeah, he needs it badly,
After announcing his retirement, I think it'll be a good thing.
Maybe he's going to do some modelling, you know.
You never know.
You never know. But Kev, I'm happy he's not here because Arsenal won, and they beat my beloved Spurs. He would have been on to me like a good thing.
You wouldn't have lived that one down. I watched the game as well. I thought...
They weren't offside, eh?
No, they weren't offside, but I must say Arsenal did come to the party on the day
because
they have been playing a little bit offish.
Yeah.
But they didn't deserve a complete outright win. I think a draw would have been a good
I thought a draw was a fair reflection. But well done to Arsenal supporters. They've come through and had this win. And again, there were very interesting games, Kev. Man City march on. Great football. Too good for Leicester.
Playing with so much confidence. This guy seems to have his squad intact. He puts on the right replacements, full of confidence, as I said. And they look like they're going to have to take a good one they're going to have to stumble 3 games for any other sides to get within a point of them, which doesn't look.
It can happen, but it's very unlikely.
That's
I agree. Kev, you're United. They always look good at home against bad sides.
Yeah, I know they must.
You know, they put 4 past a team that could still struggle in the relegation zone. They're not too strong.
Nice to see Abramovich back. Lukaku scoring a goal for a change.
That's right. He scored for his country.
Martial, Smalling, and him coming to the party. But they played. They were 1-0 down after a while, and I thought, here we go. Here comes trouble. And
Chelsea roll on, another good side.
Chelsea also.
Liverpool roll on, another good side.
It's
the top 6, eh, Kev?
That's it. I think it's a top 6 left. They seem to just be holding their own and just doing what they have to do. But they're going to have to pull out all stops to get past City. I think City are looking very, very strong.
Kev, rugby. We got a win. We eked out a win, and I unfortunately fell asleep. But I see it was a 1-point win. Did you manage to watch it?
I watched the game, very good game. Not the same side that came to the party last week. They played well. I thought Flowerhoff done not too bad. He's a youngster. He's only a youngster, but he missed a couple of kicks, which I think those have got to go through.
They got a test level. They got to go.
You play in the All Blacks net. That's what win your games. For me,
they struggled. Talking about the All Blacks, it was a great game. When Hogg made that break in the 9 minutes, even for a try, they would have been beaten. But they keep rolling. The top sides keep rolling. England, Australia, watched that. Some strange decisions, but they were flattered with 3 late tries. It was a tight game.
Absolutely, it was tight to a point, and then all of a sudden, choom.
Yeah, I think not getting that try, which would have put them ahead in the 60th minute or so. But so that's the news, Kev. The Springboks are on the roll. They must make changes to play Italy. They've got to throw in some boys they want to give a chance to.
I think we've got 1 or 2 injuries. I was listening on the radio coming out, 1 or 2 guys with their shoulders and that. But something's got to be done, and let our manager do what he has to do.
All right, let's get into a bit of racing, and let's get on to 3 to follow. Right, I'm just checking Kevin's wardrobe here. Kev, let's get on to the 3 to follow this week, and we start off at the Vaal midweek. You know, they lost the Tuesday meeting. But Thursday meeting went ahead, and there was a horse called Africa's Love who ran. We're going to show you this horse. Keep an eye on this horse. This horse will win soon. And Kev, you'll recognise Lyle Hewittson's riding style. Here it is towards the outside. This horse runs second. And let's get them rolling. There we go. 2 off the outside. This is called Africa's Sky. It's trained by Jürgen van Heerden and ridden by Lyle Hewitson. And looking at the race, it was a very close finish. This horse, Kev, drops off them early.
Yeah, he comes out well left, and Lyle the 2 horses on his either side of him just get in front of him, and he just drops him in. Just drops in behind there. You can see Lyle just sitting patiently. Definitely one of the up-and-coming riders around. Lyle
represented his country on Sunday.
He finished second in the Victor Ladorum, I think, and I watched him ride. He's a very good rider. But he just sits in behind there. You can see it's got a bit of a white face. No panic, you go down the straight at Vaal.
It looks a good race here within the outside, Shakespeare in Love. Zulu Dawn is your winner. They're there. Now, he has to come between these 2. And it looks like at one stage, Kev, that Lyle's going to get up on this filly.
Does look like it. You can see he's travelling nicely. We saw a couple of strides earlier, a little stumble earlier on now. But the race starts panning out now. There's his chance now. You can just follow the horse, pulling him through on the outside. And you can see he's not going to go on the outside, he goes in. The gap is there for him.
He thinks about it.
He thinks about it, but you know, if you get stuck on a first timer, this can happen. And there he gets going now, a little bit flat-footed at now, green, not knowing what to do, and now I think the penny drops there. Changes his legs, looks like it's going to get up, but it's just
finish,
beaten by
desperate
Zulu.
finish.
Just it couldn't get there in time. I thought a very, very, very good ride and good run.
That's how you bring a horse through.
Nice. He never got a hiding, but just got taught how to race.
Okay, now let's go and have a look at Greyville. We raced on Saturday at Greyville, and we had a horse here, the Michael Roberts stepped out, called If and When. And I thought it was a very good debut, Kev, because it covered a lot of ground.
Yeah, absolutely. You'll see this horse. You'll watch him from the beginning. He comes out, he's a bit slowish, but very green. You know, the Michael Roberts horses, they're always looking. There he is, drawn 7 in the Benji Johnson colours. Big white face, you can't miss him. Sluggish out. Now you're chasing left. You know, these babies, he has a look to go in and he has a look to go out as well.
Yeah. And he hasn't made up his mind because it's so green, it's pushing 2 of them out. But they managed to get it back in, and the rider gets it back in very comfortably. The pace is on. Our horse, Moonshadow, coming back from months and months off, runs third, goes to front very quickly, and gets up there, and it runs a good race. But here you can see
fourth last
is the horse we found. If and When. The winner is making ground on the outside as well, and that is called Asian Star with Ashton Aries. But again, look where this horse comes now, Kev.
Yeah, he comes right on the outside.
Wide.
You know, Eric Ngwani, he's a decent rider left, but just
panicked, yeah.
Yeah, he keeps his horse on the same leg the whole way down the straight. You can see it. It's getting a little bit tired as well. It's looking to lag in because it's leading on its all fours. It's been on that leg most probably the whole race just about, but up and down, going really nowhere now, and you'll see it changes its legs right there now, and boom, runs on nicely. And
good debut.
You know Michael Roberts horses are going to come on, definitely. Yeah. And as green as that was, look at it still there, looking at as green as grass. And
If and When. Eh?
If and When. So if and when it's going to win, let's just keep an eye on it.
Well, Kev, the third horse we're going to show them comes out of Gauteng on Sunday, the International Riders. And I know Paul Peter had stepped out a member in Seattle that Mouton's Hook bred. And just to touch on the pedigrees of the 2 horses we got for you, was a Judd Pot from Daytona stud in the second one, and the first one was the Silvano. And that was from the Malachi stud. I don't know them.
I don't know much about the breeding side.
But this one here is from Mouton's Hook, a member in Seattle. And Paul Peter had said that this horse was putting up some very good work, but I believe he played up a bit at the races.
Yeah, in his interview afterwards, in the back, he says his actual words were on TV. He says the horse was walking around with 5 legs. So the vet came to him and said, "Listen, you've got to put this horse away. He's going to hurt something or do something." They jumped away there. Just
it's on the fence at the back.
Right on the fence in the French colours on the back. But he said this horse was playing up so badly that he actually got a little bit worried. And in the parade ring as well, it was playing up badly. So well done to the French guy. You know, you come to another country and you get on a mad one.
Yeah.
You don't know. But there he is at the back of the field. This is the international race. You can see the top riders here.
Yeah. This Thierry Tulliers riding this for Paul Peter. It's at the back. It's got one behind it at the moment. But Royal Resolution, Corey Brown, winner of the Melbourne Cup. Terrific. Remember the TV show?
Yeah, that's it.
Off the Rails. He used to be in with those boys.
Corey was in there.
Yeah, Corey. He's an accomplished rider. But the horse we found is way off the speed. You can see it third last there, Kev.
Yeah, he's just a typical French guy. They don't have false rails there. Just sneak up on the fence a little bit. But some horse left first time out over 1,800 metres. I mean,
this is some performance.
And Paul Peter's in hot form. It's just unbelievable. But this little horse here, he looks like he doesn't really know what to do. Yeah,
the Frenchman's ridden it well.
Left there on the inside track too. It's a quick track. You got to be on the button.
You got to be thinking.
Yeah, you got to be on the button. But you can see him now off the bit.
If you've backed this horse, you think it can't win.
I go to the toilet if I've backed it now. I think I'm in trouble.
Can't win, but suddenly you realise Thierry's making a bit of ground.
He does the right thing. Left takes him.
They're 300 now.
He takes him away from everything. Clearest thing. The horse has a look. And look at this. I mean, look at this
now,
action.
Boom, when he gets a smack here.
Gets 2 smacks, and typical French guys, they put their stick down, they just push them out. Look at this left.
Majestic Mambo. Remember the name.
Put to bed in a matter of strides. And I mean, not
5.5 lengths.
Didn't win left at Rompton, yeah. So that was something really, really special. And
keep an eye on that one.
keep an eye on it, Lef. Paul Peter
Remember in
says...
Seattle, I think 2 horses in the Vodacom Do in July last year that can throw you a top horse.
Yes, I used to ride for Duncan Howes. Duncan Howes, he's a believer in him, Lef.
Yeah,
he's a believer in him.
Yeah. So am I.
Kathy goes and finds him, and yeah.
All right, those are our 3 to follow, and they're interesting. We'll see how they progress from there, Kev. But let's get back to our next segment, was This Shouldn't Happen. There we go, a nice photo of Jimbo at the dentist. And you can get to watch what we got on This Shouldn't Happen if you get onto YouTube and watch it. So it's always very interesting. It's a good laugh, and these things do happen with animals. But the next segment is Plum of the Week, which is always interesting.
Cat's Legacy. Top of the lane, Sir David Beard now to quicken it up. Rikers on the outside. R2 plays out the rail. Towards the outside of that is Scrabble. Sir David Beard still under the hands. Riker. Scrabble's trying to run on, and towards the outside of that the Dazzler. But Sir David Beard's going too strong, and Sir David Beard will win. Practically from wire to win by 4. Riker second, Brachloon third, maybe Gat Henshaw fourth.
Well, Kev, as you know, Michael de Kock's got wonderful young horses, and he brought this one into town. He brought this beautifully bred horse into town. I think Chevrolet bred it. It's a dynasty. And Kev, what was interesting was the tactical ride employed by Gav Lorena. How a couple of them had said, we don't know if we'll stay at the distance, but he rode this beautifully from the front.
Yeah, Lef, I must be honest, watch the race. Gavin, a master from the front. Never once did he ever look like he was in trouble.
Yeah,
He'd done his own thing in front. Everybody dropped him behind him, which is not a true potential of a Guineas race. You want to see that. You want to see a good pace like that.
That's right. It was no pace.
No pace. He canted in front. Nobody wants.
The second horse had stamina doubts. The third horse had stamina doubts. So we knew there wasn't going to be a pace.
He done the right thing. He committed, and Mark loves his horses in front.
Yeah.
And
especially at the finish line.
Yeah, he turned for home and he had everything flat-footed, gone. Race was over.
Kevin, and this
dominated.
This is where we're talking about getting on to Interbet to get your bets on. This horse opened up at 9 to 10, went out 16 to 10. There was 2 to 1 available on Interbet. That's why you've got to get an Interbet account. You had to get on this horse.
2 to 1 was a gift. I mean, I suppose there wasn't much money for anything else in the race, so they start pushing the favourite out to try and get people to come in back.
Yeah.
And that's what happens, and you can get on. So Interbet, that's the way to go.
Yeah.
I've got an account going, and it's.
Have you got any money in it?
It's getting depleted.
All right, we'll be back after this break.
Hi, my name is Gregory Blank. I'm an ex-stockbroker and involved in private equity and stock markets. But my passion for the last 40 years has been horse racing. I initially started off as an owner. We then got into breeding and then into trading. And obviously by default became a punter. The most exciting part, apart from being as a winner, is having a winning bet at the same time. Obviously that's not always easy, but with the help of Interbet and their transparent information, it makes trading and betting a lot easier. I've had over 38 Group 1 winners and continue to try to strive for that thrill of having a winner. The thrill of owning a horse and winning a race is indescribable, but if they're serious about it and serious about punting, is to get a leg in and really follow Interbet to the max. It's the only way they can be ahead of the game.
Hi and welcome back. It's time to have a look at current affairs, and there was a stakes race in the country, and let's have a look at this thing first. Hi and welcome back, and as we said earlier, we got the one stakes race. It's the Selangor Cup, which was run down in Cape Town. It's always a very good race, Kev. We get to see some good horses down there.
This is also like a prep for the Guineas as well.
That's right.
A lot of guys, we used to go down there, and especially if your horse just needs one little outing. It's nice stakes on offer, 400,000, but the horse just needs a little outing, needs to get around the corner just to see where you stand. We used to go for this race early on, and you don't have to give them a hiding, but you get a good indication where you stand because they line up there.
Yeah, this year it pulled a 16-1 winner who certainly wasn't formless, but let's go and have a look at the race, Kevin. We'll talk about them.
Rocket Countdown's a halfback racing outside of that. Do It Again is off the bridle and racing a little green. He's 8-9 lengths off the leader. And White River is the trailer. They start to take the angle for home in the Selangor. They have just on 500 metres left to go, and Steel Rose brought the field for home with a useful lead. Walgerine racing up on the far side. He's racing back in second, and Broadway Trip makes ground back behind. He's third. Eyes Wide Open has also got running on him down towards the inside and deep around the track. Undercover Agent is also coming home well. Steel Rose is hanging tough. Broadway Trip now comes forward to pick it up in the centre. Undercover Agent up on the outside. They're wide open. They're plenty with chances. Broadway Trip, Undercover Agent down towards the inside. Rocket Countdown, and Rocket Countdown is forging clear close home. Rocket Countdown goes on to win it. White River flashed home for second. Do It Again came flying home behind that. Then no more from Broadway Trip in the closing stages. Undercover Agent.
Well, there we go. Rocket Countdown from the Candice Bass Robinson stable. And Kev, this horse had some form, but Olden Studs Bedham by Alado hasn't had that many top horses, but this beat a very good field.
Lef, these, as I said earlier, these are the races that you run to see how good your horse is. That'll be lining up in the Guineas now. You can bet your bottom dollar. But Elder Domea, he's having a run of note.
Very good rider.
Very good rider.
Very good rider.
Very, very good rider. And Candice Robinson, they know how to prep horses. But I'd like to say this horse will come on from this run and go on.
No, you're right. I'm just saying it's 16-1. The runner-up 22-1.
Yeah.
The third one 8-1. It was a hell of a result if one considers the other horses who ran in this race. Undercover Agent was touted as being such a good horse. He'd gone to Tapper North. He'd run so well. I was disappointed by Ancestry. Maybe he needs one more. He'd been touched off in these group races here up at Greyville.
Yeah.
He looks a very good horse. He wasn't there. Wilgerine had won a Group 3 in Durban, and I don't know. The form's got me a little bit upside down. Yep. Eyes Wide Open, the Dynasty won a Group 1 on Gold Cup Day, I think it was.
No, this has really thrown the form in a mix.
That's right.
But I'm sure there might be another race. Some of these also running.
Kev, a few of them went into that series race, 2.5 million series race.
Correct.
Top horses too, Group 1, and they got beaten as well.
Yeah, 100%.
I think a filly of Drockenstein came.
But that's good. At least nobody's dominating in Cape Town, so it's nice. The guys opens the door for other guys. The guys be thinking,
there's very good 3-year-olds in Joburg. There's very good 3-year-olds in Cape Town.
Very good.
And there's a couple of useful ones up here, but it just looks like I want to see this Guineas form before I make any predictions on this crop, you know.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how they price up in the Guineas and that too.
Yeah,
I think it's going to be a Joburg horse, or maybe even one of the Candice Bass Robinson horses are going to be favourite. But it's going to be interesting to see who puts their name in the hat and who wants to have a go. But you have to have a go, as you know, Guineas left. You get one throw at it.
You get one throw at it, you know, and it's normally a speed race, especially if the wind gets up behind you. It's a quick race.
Yeah, the fillies Guineas, my son's horse going for, so they elected
They're
to.
excited.
They elected to, I think, miss the Summer Cup day on that day and go down for the Guineas. So it's going to be interesting too. So that's going to be also.
That's right. Summer Cup comes up this weekend.
This weekend.
I've seen the book. Fantastic racing.
Great racing, but then again, if you're going to go Summer Cup now, you're going to go down 2 weeks later. Go down to the.
You can't push the toothpaste back in the tube.
100%, and it's a long travel and takes time to get them right. So.
Another feature we want to show you out there, and we've got a South African connection to it. Was it Chartine this week? And Kev, the Gold Cup, it ended up being a cracking good race. And Tony Millard had a run in there, NASA, very good horse as well.
Came from South Africa.
Chad Schofield rode it, so the connection's there. And the runner-up was by Archie Penko.
Correct.
Let's go and have a look at this race. And the winner is the best 10 furlong horse in Hong Kong. There's no doubt about that. But let's have a look.
They're racing in the Jockey Club Cup. And Werther bounced beautifully, as did Time Warp. And NASA's showing pace out of the machine. Time Warp quickly rolls across and takes the front position. Nash's racing handy. And Harbour Master's now doing his thing, and he's charging up to join Time Warp. Werther's going to settle on the back of the speed in fourth, and he's relaxed nicely as Harbour Master runs to the lead. Settling just worse than midfield is Secret Weapon on the outside of Doyenne. And then a length away to second last Gold Mountain, two back last of all is Helene Charisma. Harbour Masters charging along on the lead, nearing the 1400 metres. He's 2.5 lengths clear from Time Warp, who's Basic Ray running his own race in second. 3 lengths further back to Nasser in third. Fourth is Werther. He's one off the fence with no cover on the outside of Doyenne. 2 lengths further back to Secret Weapon, 2 further back to Gold Mount. 2.5 last of all is Helene Charisma. He'd be 15 lengths off the leader. It's a runaway leader. Harbour Master at the 1,000. Halfway point, he's 6 lengths in front from Time Warp. 3 lengths further back to Nasser third. 2 further back to Werther, still on the outside of Doyenne. 2 back Secret Weapon. Gold Mount still 15 off the leader. Last of all is Helene Charisma. It's a test of stamina as Harbour Master charges along on the lead, 5 in front. Time Warp starting to reduce the margin. Werther starts to get cracking now. From NASA, 4 away Doyenne, Secret Weapon, Gold Mount and Helene Charisma. Harbour Master swings into the stretch. Only a slender margin now on Time Warp. Werther's closing in with NASA. That quartet 5 lengths in front of Secret Weapon. Time Warp ran to the lead. Werther's chasing hard with NASA. They beat off Harbour Master. Then Secret Weapon and Gold Mount. Time Warp still in front. A half. Werther's gradually wearing him down. NASA down on the rail. Werther strides up to the outside of Time Warp. Then Nasser and Gold Mount. Werther edging clear, and class will prevail. Werther takes the Jockey Club Cup from Time Warp and Nasser.
Well, there we go, Kev. This is the touted being the best 10 furlong horse around. He had to work hard to beat Time Warp, but he's a very good horse. He's won a lot of Group 1s, and Tommy Berry rode him. They went a good gallop, Kev.
George Moore is a trainer. Yeah, they went. That's Hong Kong left. They want to check if you've got stamina. They do that to you. And only a small little field. But
Kev, you were there. You know Hong Kong well. How long were you there?
Yeah, I was there. I done my 8-month stint there. I was painting the rails.
Oh, you did. You were a painter.
Yeah, I was a painter there. Yeah, because to get rides when Dougie White was on top there was impossible. So I started painting. Yeah. But Laf, just for the record, while we're on Hong Kong, Joe Moreira's at 34 winners a season, which is expected. Yeah. Zach Purton gave him a run for his money. 29.
He ran fourth in that race.
Third, Keris Teton. 20 winners. He is absolutely flying. And then down you go to the Chad Schofields and that. But I mean, 20 winners left for Keris Teton. He's really getting opportunities. He's a lightweight. He's a
nice guy too.
He's a very nice guy. He's very, very strong for a guy that rides 50 kilos left.
Yeah,
I mean,
absolutely.
I'd have him on my horse any time of the day. And he knows the tracks, and he works hard. So well done to him.
Yeah. We're going to have a look at our Magic Millions graduate of the week, and we always highlight we always highlight them. While we're talking about them, their big sale 10th to 16th of January. Magic Millions, you've got to get out there. The quality, it's a big catalogue.
Big money left?
Yeah, you pay big money, but the quality that comes out of there, you know, from the Winxes to all the way through.
No, I've watched the Australian racing. They always say, come out of a Magic Millions, come out of a Magic Millions. I
very
mean,
successful. They built it up. It's a very
Is it a 1 day or what is it, a 4 day or what is it?
4 days
Same
at least,
like the Germiston sale.
Oh yeah, no, it's much bigger. It's bigger than all those, but it's fantastic quality. The stallion log there is just frightening, you know.
Yeah.
But there was one graduate who came through, and it's Silent Starship. Let's, I think we're just changing the spelling at the back there. And but Silent Starship was the horse, and by Star Spangled Banner, who won this week. And we'll probably get that popped up in a moment.
Where did it win? Left in Joburg?
And it won, yeah, I think so. I think it did win.
Oh.
And that's our graduate who came off their sales. But we were talking about Dougie White a moment ago. Dougie White is going to ride at Ascot in Australia, and they really want him there. He started off well. He won Group 1s and everything over there, but they're flying him over. He's got a very good card next Saturday.
I wonder why he's going for one meeting.
They roll him in for the big ones, you know.
Oh, right.
He's just, you know, Kev, I didn't realise how many years he controlled racing in the sense of being the champion jockey.
Yeah, 13 years in a row he was.
13 years in a row he was the best jockey in Hong Kong. You got a couple of quid today?
Yes, that's something.
While you were painting, did you just talk to him?
Yeah, Doug was very good. He used to, him and Felix used to catch me, used to ring my bell at about 9 o'clock at night, say, come having a glass of champagne.
Yeah, they could afford it.
Crawl into my bed at 4 o'clock in the morning.
Wearing your overalls for faint.
And you have to go to work at 5. Yeah, they were very good to me.
Both great riders.
They help you in a sense. They show you the ropes, and then you got to go and finish it off. They're not going to. Or he'd phone me, Dougie, and say, "Listen, I've been offered 2 rides in a race. I'm going to go for this. Quickly phone for that ride."
Yeah.
And you quickly phone for the ride, because the racing over there left is completely different to here. There you're working 2 weeks in advance. It's like a trainer you're nominating.
Yes.
You know your rides 2 weeks in advance.
Okay.
So they got and the trainers and the owners and that too. They want a guy like Joe Moreira tell the guy, "No, I don't run it here. Run it over there."
Yeah, a lot of top jockeys do that.
They do that, so they run it over there because he can't ride it over here.
But
He's got to ride somebody else.
You must have learned something from them, because you won a couple of really big races there.
Yeah, no, left. They are very good people. The South Africans. One thing about the South Africans, when you're overseas, they do stick together.
Yeah.
To a sense,
Yeah, so they helped you out.
If I went in and had 5 winners my first meeting there, Dougie White wouldn't have spoken to me for 3 weeks.
For 3 weeks.
He would have said, "What's this guy? He's got it." But it doesn't happen like that. You've got to start at the bottom.
You did win some massive races there.
Yeah,
Kev.
I won that to the Ardemere PK and the Hong Kong Cup, which is
big money.
Big money left.
Yeah,
That's serious.
fantastic.
Yeah, serious
and
money.
And the fans that come out, they're fantastic.
Well, you get your 80, 100,000 people there on international days, and normal days it's full up left. They just love the gambling. You've seen it, 100 million they turn over in a meeting. 100 million.
Yeah. So our friend Doug White's going off to Ascot.
Fantastic,
Fantastic.
I think.
They picked him up top rides really. He's not just riding going in for one. He's going to have a good card.
Oh no, it's quite interesting how they've let him go in there. He must be either representing the jockey club in some aspect or something, because the jockey club like to keep them at home.
Yeah.
Or he'll get in the plane that night. He'll be back to Shartin for the next day.
That's what I
so
think's
these
gonna
guys
happen.
do it. Moreira and them do it with Melbourne Cup, and unfortunately he fell. But
Yeah.
they got to get back. They don't let you out there in a hurry, Lef. You sign a
that's
contract
true.
when you contract into Hong Kong Jockey Club, which is a great contract, and you stick there. You hold on with bated breath.
Do you know, talking about horses creating records, Canaan won for Michael de Kock in Cape Town this week. It was Galileo's 267th state winner.
Yeah, no, Galileo, he's just been
Done well for us,
something very special. As a racehorse, he was a machine. I mean,
Sure, he was a fantastic
we had
racehorse.
Galileo and the other one that used to go head to head. Godolphin's horse.
That was Dubai Millennium.
No, the Galileo and
Fantastic
Light.
Light. Fantastic Light beat him in Ireland.
Yeah, in Ireland, and they came back to beat him in
Yeah, they're great horses.
two
Galileo,
very good horses. But Galileo was a super horse.
Because of Johannes Vermeer, I think he's about 5th, 6th, or in the top 10 in the stallion log now. Because he was never taken by the Australians, you know.
No.
Mike de Kock and friends went into town and bought the Igugus and whatever and top horses. They wanted their speed horses. They still, as you see, they had won in the first
the Magic
10.
Millions. I mean, not the Magic Millions, the Slipper.
The Slipper and the Blue Diamond.
Yeah, that's,
you know,
that's $5 million a throw, so that's what you
if
go
you win
for.
that, you're worth $20 million as a stallion. So that, I can see their
point.
Their point, yeah. But that was Canaan, and then I wanted to ask you about something that came up, Kevin, and I saw it, and thank goodness you managed to see it as well. A jockey in England was riding, and he couldn't get the horse to go in the pens, and he went up behind it, and he lobbed some sand at it. The horse went straight, and he got on. The horse didn't run well. The Starps grabbed him.
Yeah, no, left.
Have you seen it? What did you think?
I've watched it. I mean, I've watched the interview with Matt Chapman as well. I really think it's appalling because some guys, sometimes they bring out a stock whip and belt whip.
Yeah, that's right.
That's a stock whip, a piece of leather that can actually cut them up and bleed them. This
Yeah.
guy's just encouraging the horse. Just
Bit of sand, got on,
It went in.
That's right, it went in, and you know, the jockey club got involved, and they gave him a day. His name was De Silva.
Yeah, there's a bit of an uproar about it. I'm sure that
That's you know, well, I can see the staff's point of view in the sense that you can't just hit a horse with anything it's about. You've got your equipment that's sort of passed and
Sure.
that, but this wasn't in any way cruel.
He was never ever going to hurt the horse or anything. He was just trying to give it a bit of encouragement, just to get it in, and he got it in.
Kevin, there's a guy who got 14 days. Souza, his name is a jockey, and he rode the horse, and they had him for only getting into the horse late. You see, he raced wrong way up until the final.
Where was that, Lev?
In the UK.
Gee, I'm glad Andrew Fortune never went there. He'd be off permanently because he liked to sit and hold him up. I used to like holding.
He ran fourth. He got beaten 2 lengths. They gave him 14 days.
That's a lot of that because they race every day. Lev. That's 14 meetings.
Yeah,
so you work it out in South Africa. You only do twice.
Yeah,
it's a hell of a suspension. So,
yeah, so you only asked the horse to run in the final field and go beat 2 lengths. So, Kev, are we strict enough here?
To a point, I think. You know, there they got also longer straights. The guy might have been sitting longer. Maybe it was one of those horses. I mean, I used to ride a horse for Joey Soma called Athena, and I mean, I sat until a 200-meter mark in a feature race in Joburg. It got up to win, but some horses like to run like that, and you just got to fit into how the horses want to run. And it's for me, it's not about every race you got to do this, do that. Different strokes for different horses, Lev.
Yeah,
you've got to. Some horses go to the front.
Mm. I think they get onto the guys that ride horses
inconsistently.
Yeah, those are the guys to be looked at.
Or the trainer might have come and said, "Hey, listen, this guy, gee whiz, I told him to go to the top of the straight, and now he's sitting to the 200-meter mark. Let's have a look at that."
Yeah, that's right.
Something like that.
So
could happen,
you're pretty happy the staff's doing a good job and racing's...
Yeah, I think the staff's doing a good job. I don't think there's any skullduggery in Durban at the moment.
A lot of the staffs are ex-jockeys. They'd know a few shenanigans if they saw them.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't know if we've got any ex-jockeys in our ranks at the moment.
Staffs, Nick Shearer?
Oh, no, that's in Cape Town, yeah.
Yeah.
No, in Cape Town there's 1 or 2 in Joburg.
Rakesh used to ride?
Rakesh used to ride his Golf GTR.
Yeah, that's right. So, Kev, there's no other news to come out this week. It's going to be a good week building up to the Summer Cup, which we much touched on.
Summer Cup this weekend, into the Cape Guineas, Phillies, Guineas. There's just...
The season's warming up, yeah.
This is it. And then just when you think it's all over, boom, out comes Durban again. And we're back on Friday night, Left. We miss our TGIFs. Yeah. I think it's a hit in Durban. A lot of the guys... tried the view room. My son and wife and kids came and done the view room one week, and then the next week they went and sat on the grass on the bra zone.
Fantastic.
So had a lot of fun. So come and join us. It's good fun.
It's good fun.
Weather's good.
Weather's good, yeah. That's the main thing. That's the main thing. Well, Kev, that sort of sums up current affairs, and we'll be back after this break. Right, and that's current affairs. We're going to be going on to your call now, which is going to be part 3 of training the thoroughbred. I hope you guys have been watching it. It's very interesting.
We return once again to Jamie Osborne's Upper Lambourne yard to catch up on the progress of our 4 juveniles. Excellent Puck has yet to race, and last time we saw him he had plenty of developing still to do, but how much progress will he have made? On our last visit, the Chestnut filly, now named Outbid, was nearly ready to run, so why haven't we seen her on the track yet? The filly Devout and the colt Hardy Red have both made their debuts, and since then they've gone on to run 3 times each, but today would be D-Day, and now eligible to receive a handicap mark from the BHA's head of 2-year-old handicapping.
You know, Matthew Chester, who rates the 2-year-olds, he's very good at it. You know, I kind of admire to a degree the way that he holds the whole thing together, because, you know, he's got limited evidence. It's a very difficult thing to do, and 2-year-olds change. You know, the rate at which a 2-year-old changes is obviously greater than with an older horse in most cases. So he's got a very difficult job to do. But his interpretation of the form book really is key to how many nurseries we're going to win. You know, if Hardy Red is capable of running to 75, and that's it, and he's rated 75, he's not going to win a nursery. You know, because, you know, he'll run to that mark and something else in the race will run above its mark. So, to win any handicap, you have to run above your mark. So if he's got us wrong to start with, we're in trouble. You know, the horse then needs to improve significantly.
In our last programme we saw Hardy Red make his debut run at Bath. Since then he's run again, including a second start, and a very good start, at Nottingham.
As we are now, we were struggling to find any decent ground to run him on, so we went to Nottingham really without too much regard for the opposition. It was just a question of getting another run in when on a bit of ground that wasn't too soft. And then it turned out that it did. We had a fair bit of rain and we were a bit committed to go, so it wasn't ideal. The greenness that he showed at Bath, he's kind of left it behind. And he nearly won. Not sure how good the race was. Obviously the Hannon horse was fancied but ran very green and nearly gave the race away, just got up and beat us.
Having run so well on his second start at Nottingham, Hardy Red was, unsurprisingly, a hot favourite for his third and final start so far at Folkestone.
Hardy Red in the yellow jacket, Pippi against the rail with a few lengths to find, and then a break to Royal Mizar. They make the run down towards the final furlong, and Joey's Destiny on racecourse debut has scampered 2 to 3 lengths clear, ahead of Hardy Red in second. Behind those, Pippi running on to press the weakening Smiling Shark for third, but it's Joey's Destiny in the hands of Dane O'Neill in front, racing inside the final half furlong, 5 or 6 lengths clear, and won't be caught, and makes a pretty impressive winning racecourse debut. Joey's Destiny in the hands of Dane O'Neill as the winner. Pippi got up for second, just ahead of Hardy Red.
Thought on paper the Folkestone race looked like a penalty kick for him, so I thought it was worth taking the chance, but it didn't happen. So with that in mind, and the nursery's still 3 or 4 weeks away, I thought we'd take the opportunity just to castrate him, which we did. As you saw earlier in the year, he's slightly busy horse. You know, he wasn't overly keen on the girls, but I think, you know, I think just changing, you know, taking that level of testosterone out of him ought to help him and make him a sort of more durable second half of the season horse that can ply his trade in nurseries and hopefully win us a couple.
Having been gelded, Hardy Red is due a fairly light piece of work, but the work, rather like the racing, has been disrupted by the incredibly wet conditions. With the rain hammering down, Jamie Osborne's forced to make a few changes to his schedule.
Take him in, take him in. Take him in. Mav, you're going to give Field of Dreams a lead. Take her in. It's chucking it down with rain. So what I had planned for most of those horses, I'm going to abandon, because it doesn't really make a whole heap of difference to them whether they do that today or tomorrow. If they have an easy day today, it's not the end of the world, and it's just basically playing it in a very cautious manner. You know, whenever you work a horse, you're stressing it. When you're stressing a horse, you know, you are weakening its immune system. You are lowering its immunity to anything. And getting them cold and wet and stressing them at the same time, before you know it, you could just have those little coughs and colds that are going to put you back. So if there really isn't any necessity to gallop a horse in the pouring rain, I don't bother.
There are still a few lots to work, but Jamie Osborne takes time out of the working morning for the moment of truth, the phone call to the handicapper to find out what mark Hardy Red has been given.
Thanks, bye. He basically has us penciled in our 3 runs. On our first run to running to a mark of 45. Fair enough, okay? Second run, running to a mark of 79. And our third run, running to a mark of 67. So basically what he's saying is that our mark will lie somewhere between 79 and 67, but the spread's too big. He can't sort of decide which end of that it's going to be. He said he could give him a mark now, but it would be 79, and he's aware of the fact that that's probably unfair. So I think we need to just sit. I mean, thankfully we are probably still 3 weeks away from being ready. So enough might occur within that 3 weeks. You might see more evidence and then hopefully decide where the level lies. I have a sneaky suspicion whatever happens, he's going to settle down to sort of somewhere around the mid-70s, I would think. If I had him ready to roll now, I would be annoyed by this. But as I haven't, I can be a bit calmer.
Matthew Tester also tells Jamie that the filly Devout has yet to gain a mark too. She'll need to run closer to some horses at the business end of her race before he'll give her a mark.
With Devout, I mean, obviously she's been a bitter disappointment. You know, her first run we could just about make an excuse for, but the next 2 were just shockers. So what we're doing with her is just a leap of faith. You know, you could say on what she's achieved so far, she really doesn't warrant paying a training fee for, she doesn't warrant being here. But she did show us enough early on to suggest that she isn't useless. So obviously after 3 ordinary runs like that, the only sensible thing to do was to give her a break. Before this filly ran, I felt that she might end up maybe somewhere 70s to 80. You know, I thought she was going to be okay. I was clearly wrong. And you know, now I'm in a position with her that I'm thinking, well, if we can win a race, I'd settle for that.
Last time we saw her, we knew her simply as the Chestnut Auction House filly, but now she has a name. She's called Outbid, and after 1 or 2 setbacks, she's nearly, once again, ready to start.
She's had respiratory infection. She cut her leg as well, but that was nothing. I mean, we could have kept going through that. I was a little bit suspicious of her following piece of work. I mean, I don't scope as a matter of routine. I used to do, but I don't anymore. And I was just a little bit suspicious of her. So we scoped her, and she was fairly gunky. A little bit of inflammation in her upper airway, plenty of mucus. So we had to just back off. She's taken her time to come right. We're going to actually do a little bit of work with her this morning, which will be as much as she's done since then, and then we're going to scope her immediately afterwards, just to see where we are. I would hope that she's fairly clean now.
Outbid works well and shows some good speed and no ill effects. But the real test will be the scope, which will take place shortly. fourth member of our quartet, has been the slowest to mature so far. Last time we visited, Excellent Puck was a long way off running. But today, he's going to work with some slightly better horses to see what he can do. Excellent Puck, seen here in the centre of this group under Jack Doyle, is working with two much smarter, much more experienced juveniles, and despite his best efforts, he can't quite keep up.
He wasn't quite ready for that. I probably jumped the gun a little bit, but that would have done him no harm. He just wasn't quite capable of going with them. You know, it's all just... But that doesn't mean he wouldn't necessarily end up being better than them. But he's just at the stage he's at. They've done more work. He wasn't quite capable of going with them. You know, he's a very laid-back character. That will have woken him up a little bit. See how he is through the next few days and then decide what we're going to do. But I think my original assessment that he was probably going to be a sort of an autumn 2-year-old is probably right.
We return from the gallops to find out that even straightforward work is not always straightforward. Coming back from the gallops, Leona Mayer tells Jamie Osborne that Outbid has been kicked by another filly. So now, as well as a visit from the vet to be scoped, she has a small wound that needs treating too.
No. Hopefully it's nothing. As you can see, it's just marginally broken the skin, but it'll be fine. That won't hold us up. Just something to treat. What's more of a concern is what we're about to find when we put the scope down. You know, something like that will have a little bit of bruising. Nothing, you know, but it's not. Obviously, rather that hadn't happened, but it did. You know, she's worked okay. She's shown plenty of speed. She wouldn't have blown overly hard at the end. If she scopes clean now, we can kick on. We can just, you know, that won't hold her up. We get another bit of work into her at the end of this week. See where that lands us up. I'd say probably a couple of breezes next week, and then the week after we'll be ready.
It's a little bit in here, Jamie, but it's probably...
Outbid copes well with the process of being scoped and behaves herself, and the early signs are good.
The discoloration on it is probably, you know, will be a bit of residual from the previous infection. You know, those things look worse than they are. I would imagine that will come back from the lab fine, and we're kind of free to kick on. Yeah, she's a good action filly. I wouldn't run her on anything too soft to start with. And if we had to go to the all-weather to avoid soft ground, we would do.
As our 2-year-olds continue to mature, we continue to learn more about the training game. We learn how so much is often out of the control of the trainer. The weather, ailments and injuries can all interfere. And of course, the say of the handicapper will prove very influential too. Our filly Outbid is nearly ready to run. She's showing great promise in her work. Excellent Puck continues to make excellent progress, and while still a long-term project, he shows great promise. Hardy Red? Well, we'll see what mark the handicapper gives him, and hopefully Devout can show some improvement when she returns to the track after a rest.
It's back. It's festive. Friday night racing returns to Greyville for the festive season. 7 Friday nights in a row, starting Friday, 24 November. It's festive, it's family, it's fun, including 5 bumper prize nights with over 30,000 rands worth of prizes to be won each night. The festive season night racing series at Greyville, starting Friday, 24 November.
Your world of winners is now online at www.sillytrack.com. Simply subscribe to log into your account from any mobile device in South Africa and access a wide variety of content from our membership package options. Listen in via a live audio stream, catch live racing locally and internationally, or view a wide variety of Teletrack magazine shows to stay informed and updated on the go at any time. It's never been easier. Go to teletrack.com now.